You're not getting the results you want, you're not building the speed you want because you're not taking your recovery serious enough. The sooner you realize that, the more you recover, the fuller and faster that you recover, the more hard sessions you can do. And it's from those hard sessions being fresh enough to really hit those hard sessions hard that you can get that super compensation. And that should be happening on Wednesdays or your midweek interval session and your weekend long run. So you're building speed on your interval session and you're building endurance and stamina in your weekend long run. Those two things together complement each other really, really well, but they can only happen if you take your recovery seriously. And by recovery, I mean guarding your sleep with your life. So important, whatever time, whether you need to go to bed early or you can afford to wake up late, whatever it is, you guard that 7, 8, 9 hours, whatever you need. You'll find that the more you're training, the more sleep you're needing. You need to really look after that. That's the fundamental of everything. That is layer one. What comes after that is hydration. You've got to be drinking enough. Most people, if I ask you right now how much do you drink a day, very, very few people will be able to tell you exactly how much they drink a day. I drink 3, 4, 5 litres a day, depending on how much training I do, sometimes even more than that. And there's a lot of sports drinks thrown in there when it's hard sessions on an interval day or a long run, but you've got to really take care of your hydration. And with that comes electrolytes, your sodium levels, potassium levels, magnesium levels. You've got to look after that. You've got to know how your body works optimally. And it's like a race car. The more that you're training, the more that you're getting to know your body, the more that you'll know when something's missing or when you need to kind of replenish on something. Whether that's supplements, whether it's like a magnesium tablet, a potassium tablet, extra bananas, extra fruit, you can get everything from your diet. Super important to be optimal. You want to be optimal in everything you possibly can. In life, in running, in interval sessions, in long run, whatever it is, in the gym, you want to be optimal wherever you can. And from that becomes the fundamental sleep, then hydration, then obviously diet on the other side. Diet, you can literally write down everything you're eating right now and the timings that you eat those things, the portion sizes, weigh your food, and figure out what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. It's really easy to see, and if you don't know, ask the internet, because the internet will have the answers there for you. What is a balanced meal? The habits that you've built so far in your life, you're probably just going through the motions, just following those habits, those bad habits, get out of them and figure out, okay, how can I get faster? I get faster by hydrating well, sleeping great, resting well, and I'm taking my diet really seriously. So it's fueling your runs, yeah, and it's fueling before you run, after your runs, on your hard sessions, on your midweek interval session, your long run, but it's getting the recovery afterwards. So within 15 minutes of finishing, you want to get 40 to 50 grams, ideally up to 100 grams of carbohydrate into the body, so you're restocking the glycogen levels that have been depleted in the muscles and the liver in those harder sessions, and those more taxing sessions like the long run. Then you want to have enough protein in your diet. You want to have enough carbohydrates. You don't want to be on a calorie deficit if you're training hard. If you're trying to lose weight and run and improve your running and get faster at the same time, make sure that that weight loss, that fat loss, is as a byproduct of your training. If you're trying to focus on both things at the same time, then you're probably going to run into problems, because you're going to be under calorie, you're going to be undernourished to be able to perform well in training, and especially that midweek interval session, that weekend long run, you're going to be undernourished. Really, really important to get enough calories so that you can fuel your training. Remember, have that weight loss. Your weight will naturally come down as a result of good, consistent training. Don't try to do both at once, although it will naturally happen. And then after that, you've got to think, okay, if you're in an office job, if you're in a taxi job where you're up all day on your feet or whatever, maybe you're a laborer. If you're on your feet all day, you've got to think, okay, how can I rest after work? How can I kind of like watch a series, whatever it is that you do, in order to be able to rest and get your body ready to go hard again. And then from there, so you've got your rest, recovery, you've got your hydration, your nutrition, you've got your gym, your strength. That's going to make you a much more robust runner, so you're able to recover faster and you're getting injured and having those niggles less. And then you want to look after your diet, and then underneath everything becomes sleep. So super important to nail those areas. And then after there, you want to be regularly having massages if that is going to refresh your legs and get a feeling from there. Just a refreshing, simple massage to get the legs, especially the quads. If you've been doing a lot of road running and you've been pounding on the quads, just refresh the quads, get them moving, and get the blood moving, and then take your easy runs and recovery runs seriously, because those are the sessions that you've got to slow down, and most people are doing them too fast. Don't make that mistake. Slow down on your easy runs and recovery runs. Very little difference between those. What I mean by a recovery run and an easy run, I've told you before, but it's just, okay, the recovery run is super slow, just feeling your body. How was that last interval session? How was that last long run? Am I recovered from that? Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. And then from the start of the run to the end of the run, you go through that transformation of feeling so much better. And then the next day is an easy run where you're going a little bit faster, exerting yourself a little bit more, but your heart rate's still low enough so that you're recovering as a primary objective for those 2 sessions. And that allows you to really hit that interval session hard and reap the rewards from that super compensation, which is you really pushing it in those intervals, those increasing progressions of intervals over the weeks, so that you can gather that speed, and that speed will cross over into your long run. So you'll start to notice yourself with the same heart rate going faster in your long run, and it's gonna feel easier, so that once you come to that 5K or the 10K, the half marathon, the marathon, it feels so much easier to be going race-based, because you've built up that speed and you've built up those minutes and those hours of going much faster than race pace in training. Then you've got your long run, where you're focused for a period of time to be on your feet for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it might be, and maybe within that you kind of have the double benefit of, yes, being out on there for an hour and a half, 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it is you're training for, and however long that long run is, but you're also having a specific period within that. So you're maybe a 25K run, first 5K is quite easy, last 5K is quite easy, middle 5K is marathon pace. So you're getting used to, your biomechanics are getting used to that marathon pace, but being out there for 25K, and then maybe the next session is 28K, and then 31K, then 34K, and you're gradually moving towards the marathon distance, so that once you get to race day, no surprises, you're ready and you're refreshed. But it all comes down to taking your rest and recovery super seriously. You've got to, the big difference between professionals and amateurs is very, very simply that professionals realize that they are simply professional recoverers who happen to train for 10, 12, 14, 15 hours a week. And that's all it takes to be a professional runner. You've got to take you've got to take your rest and recovery very, very seriously. And the way that I broke through in running was knowing that more didn't mean better. And that's my personality. Okay, I don't have a job anymore because I'm being paid to run. So I can train all the time and get faster. Of course you're going to run into injuries. Of course you're going to run into illness. You can get setbacks. Then eventually, don't learn the hard way. Learn from my mistakes and learn from other people's mistakes, and take your rest and recovery really seriously, so you can hit those hard sessions and really get the most out of your running. And that's going to put you into a positive feedback loop where you're doing great because you're able to hold back on those easy and recovery days. You're able to rest when the body tells you to, and then you're able to go hard on interval day and long run day. Remember, you're preparing to run as fast as you can for one day. That's what you're doing if you're training for a race. You're preparing to run fast for one day. You're not trying to run fast. You're not trying to run as many miles as you can in a week or as many miles as you can in a month. It's not all about that. Forget about Strava and forget about looking and forget about the kudos and the likes and stuff like that on social media. It's all about you training in a methodical way to get the best out of your body in terms of speed, in terms of endurance. So that coupled together over the weeks and months that you're training comes together and I'm not going to use that word because I don't know it, comes together on one day to run your fastest ever race, whatever that might be, whether it's 5K, 10K, marathon, ultramarathon, it doesn't matter. That's what it's all about, getting the very best out of your potential. Good luck, and if you've got anything from this, please like, comment, smash the like even harder if you've done it already, and let me know, what are you training for and what can I help you out on? I'd love to be able to use specific examples and talk you through how I do it, maybe how you're doing it and what I change in order to try to do it better. Let me know.